All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to explore this really fascinating engineering fable. It comes from an essay by Christine Jones, and it's all about something she calls the constitutional bridge, which, as you can probably guess, is a powerful metaphor for the very structures that hold up a free society. So, the fable starts right at the bridge's entrance, where its two founding promises are literally set in metal for everyone to see. These two principles, they're the bedrock of the entire story we're about to unpack. Here's how we're going to walk through this. We'll start with the bridge's design, look at its core principles, then watch how it falls into decay. After that, we'll see the consequences of that decay, and finally, look at the tough road to restoration. Okay, so let's really dig into this central idea. I want you to picture this massive, incredible bridge. It's built to last for generations, right? And the crews who take care of it are called the defenders. Their whole job, their only job, is to make sure this bridge stays safe and true to its original purpose. Now, these defenders, they don't just, guess how to do their jobs. They have a super strict blueprint, and it's all built around two core concepts that the fable calls permanent conditions and fixed points. Okay, first up we have the permanent conditions. The easiest way to think about these, they're the why behind the bridge. They're the fundamental, unchanging truths about humanity and the world that the bridge is built on, the very reason it exists. And the fable gets really specific about what these conditions are. It starts with this idea of a distinction between a creator and creation. That leads to the concept of a fixed human nature, the idea that every single person is a rational moral agent. And if that's true, it means our rights are just part of who we are. They aren't granted by some authority. This brings us to popular sovereignty. The power comes from the people. And all of that wraps up into a final, crucial point. The job of our institutions is to protect those rights, not invent new ones. So if the permanent conditions are the why, then the fixed points are the how. These are the nuts and bolts, the objective, totally unchanging technical standards that you use to measure, check, and repair the bridge. And this is the practical, nitty-gritty stuff. Think of it like an engineer's ultimate checklist, the things that are completely non-negotiable. You've got survey benchmarks that never move, exact load calculations for every single beam, super strict standards for materials, regular alignment checks, and crystal clear protocols for every repair. These things are not up for debate. They are the objective truth that keeps the bridge safe for everybody, forever. And this brings us to a really crucial distinction for the original defenders. You see, they separated liberty of conscience from license. You could believe whatever you wanted in your private life, no problem. But the second your work touched that public bridge, it had to meet those objective, fixed standards. Anything else, any deviation based on a feeling, that wasn't freedom. That was license, and it was treated as a direct threat to the whole structure. But as the story goes, that level of discipline, well, it started to slip. Over time, little compromises, small deviations, they all began to pile up and just eat away at the bridge's integrity. Look, this decay didn't happen all at once. It was a slow creep. It began with workers just painting over cracks instead of actually fixing them. Then, inspectors started focusing on trivial stuff like the condition of the handrails, while totally ignoring the main structural trusses. Eventually, it got so bad that strong steel beams were replaced with pretty decorative arches that couldn't hold any real weight. The final nail in the coffin? New hires were told to just ignore the blueprint and do whatever felt right. So as the bridge started to weaken, as it began to literally sag under its own weight, something fundamental changed. It stopped being this open structure for free passage, and it became something else entirely. The simple freedom to just walk across the bridge was gone. Instead, these outside managers showed up. They put up scaffolding and nets, and they started controlling everything: who could cross, when they could cross, and how. The bridge wasn't serving the people anymore. It was managing them. So you can see the difference here, right? It's just night and day. On one hand, you had the original design, a self-governing structure built on fixed principles that worked for everyone. On the other hand, you have this decayed version, which is nothing more than a system of managed permissions. Now it's run by outsiders, using rules that change from one day to the next. So how in the world do you fix a bridge that's about to collapse? Well, according to the fable, the first step, the only way to start, was for the crews to stop arguing about how things looked or felt and just get back to the original blueprints. What's so interesting is that the road to recovery is a perfect mirror image of the path to failure. It wasn't about inventing some new, brilliant idea. It was all about systematically going back to those foundational principles, the fixed points, that were proven to work. They reset the benchmarks, they brought back the original math, and they got rid of the shoddy materials. Simple as that. And all of this, the whole story, it builds to this one central message, a final warning that was written down in the defender's logbook for future generations. And here it is. This is the absolute core of the warning. The moment you ignore those permanent conditions and fixed points, the structure might still look like a bridge from a distance, but in reality, its function has completely changed. It's no longer a tool for freedom, it's a platform for control. And that's the question the fable leaves us with. It's a huge one. What is the real purpose of our civic structures? Are they built to serve all of us equally, or are they built to be managed and controlled by a select few? And this is the final powerful takeaway. The decision to maintain a free and open society, to keep that bridge strong. It's not about what looks nice or what feels good in the moment. The fable says it's a practical, operational choice about how that structure is actually going to function in the real world.